Good evening, y'all. It's 11:25 Tuesday night. I am chilling. Gonna give y'all another update with the football picks, how me and my father did. Basketball season is back. The Pels are looking nice. They got a victory tonight without Zion Williamson, who was out with a hip issue, and Brandon Ingram, who was under concussion protocol. They still beat Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. The game came down to the wire, and it was off the hook. The Brooklyn Nets struggling. Philadelphia 76ers got their first win struggling. The LA Lakers are struggling. And you know what this is telling me, y'all? It's a young man's league. Golden State's the OGs. They got Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Draymond Green, but they got the Jordan Pooles. It's the young boys league, man. It's not about just KD and LeBron and PG3, and Giannis is kind of in the middle. He's taking over. Joel Embiid, Nojic, Ja Morant, Luka Doncic. It's a young boys league, man. You guys can't be trying to get your props off of stuff that was going on back in the day. It's a new man's game. So the league's just started, though. Season's just started. Golden State is playing Phoenix right now. Phoenix is up 81-76. It's a good game I got going on in the background. In baseball news, we have the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Houston Astros, who made short work of the Yankees. They swept the Yankees. It wasn't even competition. I do have an issue with the Yankees booing Aaron Judge. He held you guys down for the whole year. You definitely would have been in the playoffs if it wasn't for him. He broke the record in the conference for home runs. He put up crazy numbers. He should get the MVP, in my opinion, regular season. And you guys were booing him because he didn't produce the way you wanted him to when it was time to. That's kind of crazy. But he held y'all down all year. Y'all need to pay him that money. He looking for new contract renewal, contract extension. Give him his money. He deserves it. But yeah, the Yanks fell short. You got the Phillies versus Houston Astros. It's going to be a nice one. I'm hoping Philly, you know what I mean? I'm a local guy, so we're hoping Philly does a thing. Houston's looking tough, though. They looking tough. Football, another action-packed weekend. I was chilling with family. I got my hands on some Chuck's Buffalo Wings. They got these specials Monday through Thursday. Buy a large wing for $21. Get a small one free, which is $14. So you're getting 21 wings plus 40. You're getting 35 wings for $21. It's off the hook. The blue cheese, drizzle, the celery that comes with it, the sauce. Them wings just bang, man. I've been eating them since I was in high school. I think, in my humble opinion, best wings in the world. Yes, I said it. Some may say best in the state. Others may say the best in the county. I say best in the world. That's how I'm coming with it. Chuck's Buffalo Wings, Hamilton, New Jersey. Klay Thompson and Devin Booker get into a little skirmish. Okay. Boys, let's ball. But yeah, best wings. Chuck's Buffalo Wings. Mercer County. If you're in the area, you got to stop by. Plenty locations. Give them a call. Get you some wings. And let's get into this football roundup. We are starting to get deeper in the league. We are approaching week 8. We just finished week 7. We are starting to separate the men from the boys. The AFC East, Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins, New York Jets, New England Patriots is the best division in the AFC. The NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles, New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commandos, best team in the NFC. So it's getting a little crazy. Things aren't running around and going down like they used to, but things are picking up full speed. Different teams are doing well. Teams that were horrible last year, especially the New York teams, doing their thing now. So it's starting to get good. We're starting to see. And then you have the two GOATs. Well, two of the better quarterbacks that we've heard of. And like I said, the same thing that's going on in football is the same thing I was talking about in basketball. You have Tom Brady, 45. You had Aaron Rodgers approaching 40. These guys aren't able to produce the way they used to produce. They're getting smarter with the game knowledge, of course. Their athletic ability isn't the same because they're getting older. It's the same thing that's happening in the NBA. These guys have big names. These guys have produced in the past, but Father Time is undefeated. There's only like one LeBron James who spends millions of dollars on his body a year who's still able to produce at 38 years old. Vince Carter, who's a 1 in a million type athlete, played till he was 42. Nobody else. You got Udonis Haslem, who's 40 years old in the league, but he's not playing no 35, 40 minutes a game, dropping 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 to 6. No, he's a bench player. He's really there just to coach. So as we go along and we get older, things change and Father Time is still undefeated. So let's go with this football update. When we started this week, I had 20 wins on the season. My father had 18. Mind you, we started late. We only had 2 differences. One of his won and one of mine won. So we're still at the same place as far as the distance between each other. But we've added the wins to our totals. I have 28. He has 26. So we're still in a close battle. The Thursday night game was the Arizona Cardinals versus New Orleans Saints. Arizona won, bringing their record to 3-4. New Orleans lost, dropping them to 2-6. Then we had the Giants, who is impressing people. I told you guys from the beginning of the season, Saquon Barkley is back on his grind. He is arguably the number 1 running back in the league. In my opinion, he is, but he's arguably, there's a couple other people out there. One of them just got traded, who's injury prone, but Saquon Barkley is looking like a beast. Daniel Jones, can we put a little bit of respect on his name? I'm still hearing commentators talking crazy about it. The Giants are 6-1, okay? They're proving their abilities by their record. They're winning games. Granted, they play Jacksonville Jaguars, who's not really good. Their quarterback is not having as good of a season as I thought he could have, but he needs a little help with his personnel. They have NTN, who's putting up good fantasy numbers, but the Giants are 6-1, right behind the Philadelphia Eagles in that NFC East, which is stuff that I was talking to you about. The Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson finally got a win. They are 4-3, and they are first in the AFC South. The 4-3 over Cleveland. They won. Cleveland dropped to 2-5, and they're just not looking that good at all. Dallas, another team in that NFC East, is now 5-2. Dak Prescott was back at the helm at quarterback. He was starting. He looked good. They beat Detroit, who fell to 1-5. Dallas is now 5-2. And at 5-2, one of the better records in the league, they're in the 3rd place in their division. So that's saying a lot about that NFC East. Keep an eye out on them. They might be producing a lot of teams in this year's playoffs. Another NFC East team, the Washington Commanders, beat Aaron Rodgers and your Green Bay Packers. One of the older people who aren't balling like they normally do, and it's getting a little frustrating when you're used to winning all the time when you're not. So Washington got to 3-4. Green Bay fell to 3-4. Then you had Indy versus Tennessee moved to 4-2 with the victory. Indy fell to 3-1. So that's really close right there. It's just a tie separating the two. So they're going to be going down to the wire more than likely. Then we had Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, who some say is the GOAT, versus Carolina. Carolina was 1-5 before the game started. They are 2-5. They beat Tom Brady. This might have been the final straw for him. I know he's not accepting that. Losing to one of the worst teams in the league. Tom Brady and the boys lost again. Then we had Las Vegas versus Houston. 2 teams that are very, very at the bottom of the league, just like Carolina. Vegas won. They're 2-4. Houston is 4-1. That was the horrible bowl. Then we had the Jets versus Denver. Russell Wilson is just not panning out in Denver. We'll get to Seattle in a second, but that trade, Seattle got the best of that one. But the Jets moved to 5-2, a wonderful record for the New York Jets. They are sitting in the number 2 spot behind the Buffalo Bills. If they were in a couple other conferences in the league, they'd be sitting up number 1 high and pretty. But Buffalo Bills, who's number 2 on my power rankings, is ahead of them. So the Jets moved to 5-2 with the win over Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos fall to 2-5. Kansas City Chiefs, Patty Mahomes, putting up them fantasy numbers for me, got me another fantasy victory. My 3rd win in a row for fantasy, which is what's up. It's up. Kansas City beat San Fran. Patty Mahomes did his thing. San Fran now has Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's tough. It's going to take him a little while to get their chemistry together, but San Fran is going to be a problem. So they're 3-4, but the playoffs are still on their radar, in my opinion anyway. But Kansas City moved to 5-2 with that victory. San Fran fell to 3-4. Seattle. This is what I was talking about. Seattle. They made the trade for Russell Wilson with Denver. Seattle is looking like a genius because they're 4-3. They're first place in the NFC West. So you got San Fran, you got Seattle. Nobody else is really doing good in that division. So Seattle, they traded, and they're still doing better than Denver. Everybody's expecting Denver to be this high-profile team, and Russell Wilson just isn't able to put it together. Is he another one who's a little bit older, and the young boys are taking over, and he's not able to do what he used to do in the past? I don't know. I do know Seattle's 4-3 and Denver's 2-5. So Seattle is ahead in the NFC West with a record of 4-3. The Chargers are also 4-3. Now we're moving to Pitt and Miami. Miami, like I told you guys, got back on the board with the victory. They lost 3 in a row. Tua, the main quarterback, was injured. He came back and they did their thing against Pittsburgh. They won. It's to be expected. Pittsburgh's another doormat of the league team. And then we had Chicago versus New England. New England had some issues at quarterback. They had their starter back. They took their starter out. They put the backup in, who I was telling you these past couple of weeks was doing his thing for them. They put the backup back in, but that did not lead to a victory. Chicago was looking good. They had 10 days to prepare for this game, and they got the victory. They moved up to 3-4. New England fell to 3-4, and that is the football wrap up. The power rankings for me still go Philly at top at 6-0. Buffalo Bills, who also had a bye this week, at 5-1. Then I would like to put the Kansas City Chiefs up there at 5-2. Then I would like to put the New York Giants up there at 6-1. And rounding up last place would be the Minnesota Vikings, who also had a bye at 5-1. So 3 out of the top 5 teams on power rankings had byes. We'll see what's coming up this week. Like I said, there's basketball going on. The baseball's in the World Series. Basketball, football, baseball. It's a wonderful time of year. Just to keep an update on the Brittany Griner situation, I know you guys have heard me talk about it before. She is still locked up. She was able to represent herself and say her spiel or speech. They did not give her an appeal. She still has to stay in there. It's a sad situation. We do recognize that there are other people in there for the same thing, and they need to be out too. It's just a sad situation all around. I believe Russia might be trying to leverage things out for a fair trade between whoever else is locked up here for them. But yeah, she's been locked up way too long. And it's just a sad situation. But this is Kevin Kinkle with the Kevin Kinkle Podcast. Again, thank you guys for spending time with me. You guys that listen to the show, I love you so much. I love you for taking your time out and listening to the show and showing me support. It's greatly appreciated, and I love you for that. This is the beginning stages. It's tough. It gets grueling. It gets frustrating. The numbers are definitely not where you want them to be, but loving what you're doing makes it seem like it's not a job. And if it was one person listening, I'll be going just as hard if it was 1 million people listening. I love what I do, and I'm going to keep on doing it. But I really appreciate your support. It's encouraging, and it's really helpful in times where things get tough. And I'm not going to, but you do feel like giving up. But thank you for your support. I love you. Peace and blessings. This is the Kevin Kinkle Podcast, and I holla. Peace.